My next guest is a radio host and author of multiple bestsellers, including a recent biography of Martin Luther. His latest takes a hilarious look at Washington, and it's a children's book. It's called Donald Drains the Swamp. Welcome back to the show, Eric Metaxas.
I love being here. Thank you.
You know, it's so funny because typically I'm reading stuff from you and it's about Martin Luther and it's about Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And now you've done this children's book about Donald Trump draining the swamp. So how did the children's book come about after all these very serious biopics that you've done?
Well, no joke. I've written 30 children's books over the years, and I've written a lot of humor. And once the president got elected, I said, you know what? This guy is kind of a folk hero. He's larger than life. I ought to do a kid's book with my friend Tim Raglan because he's the greatest illustrator in the world. And it is as funny as anything I've ever done because, you know, it's kind of based on a true story.
Yeah, there's a true story behind all of this. But how did you make a book about Donald Trump suitable for children?
We wanted to write a fable that you could explain the most basic ideas of what's happening in America to little kids. At the same time, there's a lot of humor for adults. The swamp creatures are really nasty. One of them might look like Senator Schumer. Another one might look like a certain, well, it's a turtle, but I'm not going to mention any names. But the point is that it's meant to be funny for adults. There's a lot of jokes for adults. The biggest, baddest swamp creature, well, actually, the first swamp creature is a Labiosaurus. I don't know what that even means. But the Labiosaurus tells Donald, listen, the king doesn't talk to anybody who doesn't live in the swamp. They think everybody outside the swamp is uneducated, they're uncultured, they're deplorable. He doesn't want to talk to anybody outside the swamp. So they say, well, look, we're going to get drastic. We're going to drain the swamp. And of course, the swamp is made of money. That's why nobody wants to leave. The king doesn't want to leave. And when he starts to drain the swamp by digging a trench, it's going to be the best, biggest trench you've ever seen. And he's going to get the swamp people to pay for it. Actually, that's not true, but it's going to be the biggest, best trench. They start digging the swamp, and the nastiest swamp creature of all comes out. And the nastiest swamp creature is called the George-osaurus.
Oh, no.
So there's some stuff for adults. There's some adult stuff in there. There's other funny stuff, but I'm not gonna get into it now.
Yeah, but Eric, you know that a lot of people on the left have zero sense of humor. Will they get the joke, or will they be offended and march all over your neighborhood and come to your restaurant table and put their hands in your food?
Right, let them try. I have to say that if your friend has any sense of humor, you know, but they don't love Trump, it's a good gift. If they have no sense of humor, make sure you get them 2 copies, preferably signed by the author.
Well, Eric Metaxas' new book is a great way to teach your kids about how Washington works or doesn't. And it's a clever and funny gift for adults. You can find Donald Drains the Swamp and all of his other best-selling books, videos, and more at ericmetaxas.com.